Welcome to Around the Peninsula. I'm Senior Airman Christiana Scott. South Korea took shelter as Typhoon Balavan made its way up the Korean peninsula. Specialist Sarah Herring reports on how the typhoon affected the entire peninsula.
School was canceled, stores were closed, and even military training was suspended while Typhoon Balavan hit the peninsula late Monday evening. Although Balavan was less forceful than expected by the time it reached Korea, the typhoon still left a trail of damage behind. Most of the damage around the peninsula were snapped traffic lights, uprooted trees, and the buildings that the trees collapsed on. During Typhoon Balavan's destruction, wind gusts were up to 60 knots, and some areas of the peninsula were expected to accumulate up to 20 inches of rain. Typhoon Balavan is believed to have been the strongest typhoon to hit Korea in almost a decade. Specialist Sarah Herring, Seoul, Korea.
Operations went back to normal the next day after Typhoon Balavan made its way up north. At Osan Air Base, airmen learned that sometimes the only way to go up is by falling down. Airman Nancy Kasberg tells us how Osan's quick reaction team trains to prepare themselves.
With rope in hand and a face eager to learn, Osan's quick reaction team prepared to rappel. So, why are these airmen on the first floor?
Down here on the ground level, just going over that perch, we can fix all the problems, working with your stance and stepping and everything else. We can work that all out before we even put anybody at risk.
Starting on the first floor helped minimize some of the risk, but it didn't eliminate all the challenges the team had to face.
Look, that's it, right there. A lot of it just was confidence. A lot of them are like, even though we're only, a couple feet off the ground, they were still like nervous because they're seeing how the weight and the load and everything shifts on the rope, and then get into their position to rappel. It was still a little nerve-wracking because they didn't know what to expect.
At first it's a daunting task because it's something you've never done before, so you always want to be extra careful with yourself and follow all the safety procedures.
Even though these guys are the best of the best for the 51st Security Forces Squadron, they still have to learn from the ground up. Airman First Class Nancy Kasberg, Osan Air Base, Korea.
Does anybody else want to go again?
Only 25 airmen make up Osan's quick reaction team. The evolution of social media proves to be a unique way to communicate between friends and family. Air Force Sergeant Jennifer Stye explains how the 51st Fighter Wing Commander takes advantage of social media to communicate with the Osan Air Base community.
The 51st Fighter Wing took the opportunity to use social media to their advantage by conducting a town hall meeting on Facebook. Colonel Patrick McKenzie, the commander of the 51st Fighter Wing, sits down in front of Facebook and embraces this new way of connecting with the Osan Air Base community.
It makes me feel young, I guess. No, it's good. I understand that today's generation is connected through Facebook and other social media, so it's a great way. If I truly want to connect with the young airmen, I've got to go to their playing field, and social media is the way to do that. So I find it fun, entertaining, and a great way to get information out.
The followers used Facebook as a tool to voice their concerns, ranging from crosswalks to chow halls to living conditions.
I think what we do is we just say, hey, we offer them. Now, we got a lot more questions than I anticipated, and they're good questions. We got some action items out of them that we'll take and we'll work. At the end of the day, we want to make Osan the best it possibly can be, and to do that, we've got to get the input from the community. Today was a great way of doing that, and overall, I'm very happy with it. We'll probably see more of this.
Using Facebook to conduct a town hall meeting gives anyone with a Facebook account the opportunity to be heard. It also gives those who aren't available at the time of the meeting a chance to see all the questions at a later time. Air Force Staff Sergeant Jennifer Stye, Osan Air Base, Korea.
Osan Air Base's Facebook page has over 1,700 likes, so it's a great way to get the word out to the base community. When the job of head coach for the Daegu High School football team became available, one man knew it was the opportunity he'd been waiting for. Army Sergeant Carlos Gonzalez introduces us to a Missouri native who is at the head of the football program.
In 2007, the Daegu Warriors received a new head coach who turned around their football program.
We won our first football game right out here on this field, and I had a core of seniors that were four-year players who had never won a football game. And afterwards they were out here and they were crying. They just couldn't believe that they won a football game.
Coach Walter attributes the change in the football program to his coaching staff, along with the tenacity and teamwork of his players. The football program is now competitive in the Far East Small School Division.
It's kind of neat to see the culture change from never winning a game to winning 2 championships. No boys team in any sport had won a Far East championship in 22 years.
Hit squad on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hit squad.
There are 25 players on the Far East Division's smallest football team, most playing for Coach Walter on both sides of the ball.
Playing for Coach Walters has really shown me a lot of things, mostly hard work and dedication on and off the field. Coach Walters is the chief of our tribe, and without the chief, the tribe doesn't thrive.
Coach Walter is also a special education instructor and the athletic director for Daegu High School. Army Sergeant Carlos Gonzalez, Camp Walker, Korea.
The Daegu Warriors won the Far East Division II championship in 2010 and 2011. This season, they will try for their 3rd straight small school division title. Being stationed overseas, it's not as easy to catch the latest American movie blockbusters. Army Sergeant Keith Burghardt watched one Korean national splice his work with bringing American entertainment to Yongsan.
Passing through South Post on USAG Yongsan, you can catch a flick at the movie theater. But what does it take to put a taste of home on the big screen? One man keeps the film rolling. Sung Kil-yu.
Basically, my job is to play the movies to the audience. When the films first get here, they're not organized, so I take all the reels and put them together to one movie film and play them in the projector.
And he doesn't take his work lightly.
I feel proud of myself being a projectionist. Comparing to other theaters, our theater machines are one of the best, and there are only 2 people who can operate these machines in Yongsan, so I'm really proud of myself being the best in my job.
But polishing his craft didn't happen overnight.
I didn't know much about movie projection, so I had to spend 6 months training on the real situation, and a former projectionist told me to get a license regarding movie projection. I studied for about 1.5 years to get a license. After that, I started my career as a movie projectionist.
Working behind the scenes, keeping the film rolling, and taking pride in his work, Mr. Yu brings Yongsan a slice of Americana, 1 reel at a time. Army Sergeant Keith Burghardt, Yongsan, Korea.
Mr. Yu has worked as a projectionist at the Yongsan Movie Theater for over 8 years. The musical Fantastic combines traditional Korean music with modern pop for a true cultural experience. Katusa Private Minkyu Bae reports.
Musical Fantastic is a nonverbal play driven by traditional Korean instruments, which involves both percussion and strings. It's a fun show for people of all ages to enjoy. This musical takes place at Gyeongyang Art Hill near Seodaemun Station. The performances are held at 5 in the evening and 8 at night, 7 days a week. Visit Musical Fantastic to experience traditional Korean rhythms that resonate through your heart.
The musical continues to gain more popularity worldwide. That was Year Around the Peninsula for Thursday, September 6th. From all of us at AFN, enjoy your evening.
It takes soldiers watching after soldiers. We try through our various training programs to teach soldiers what to look for, how to identify a buddy who's having a tough time. The best thing that can happen is have leaders involved at every unit level on up and make sure that soldiers care about each other. That kind of human initiative